What if Master Chief came into Star Wars? The remnants of a forgotten war drifted through the void. A Covenant cruiser, its hull breached and systems failing, tumbled across the boundaries of space and time, carried by currents no scientist had mapped. Within its damaged cryobay, a single pod remained operational, power reserves draining with each passing moment. Inside, the last Spartan slept, unaware that the universe he knew had been replaced by one ruled by an empire, governed by the Force, and locked in a struggle between light and dark. Warning klaxons blared through the empty corridors as the ship's AI attempted to rouse its sole occupant. The cryopod hissed open, releasing cold mist into the recycled air. John 117, the Master Chief, opened his eyes to darkness, his MJO-LNR armor activated in sequence, systems coming online as his enhanced senses processed his surroundings. Something was wrong. The familiar hum of the ship's engines had been replaced by an irregular pulse. The Covenant vessel was dying. "Chief," a familiar voice called to him through his helmet comms. "Systems critical. Ship integrity compromised. Unknown spatial anomaly detected." The Spartan rose from the cryopod, his movements precise and economical despite years of suspended animation. "Status report, Cortana." "Bad news all around," the AI responded, her voice strained. "Ship's navigation is offline, long-range communications are non-functional. And based on stellar cartography, we're nowhere I recognize." The Master Chief moved to the nearest viewport, armored boots echoing against the metal floor. Beyond the reinforced glass, unfamiliar stars stretched into infinity. No Earth, no colony worlds, no UNSC vessels. They were alone. "Survivors?" he asked, already moving toward the armory. "Negative. Life support was compromised in all other sectors. You were protected by redundant systems in the cryobay." Chief accessed the weapons locker, retrieving his MA-5B assault rifle and M6D sidearm. "Options?" "The ship is on a collision course with what appears to be a small moon," Cortana replied. "Except, it's not a moon. Preliminary scans suggest it's an artificial construct approximately 160 kilometers in diameter." The Spartan checked his ammunition and supplies, securing them to his armor. "Covenant? Unknown architecture, unknown energy signatures. Chief, I'm detecting thousands of life forms aboard that station." Master Chief secured his helmet, the familiar weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. "Then we need to make contact. Prep a lifeboat." "Already on it," Cortana replied. "But John, we need to be careful. My sensors are picking up some kind of energy field I can't identify. It's everywhere, permeating everything, almost like it's alive." The Spartan moved through the corridors of the dying ship, his augmented body adjusting to gravity fluctuations as systems failed around him. "We've survived first contact before. This is different," Cortana insisted. "Whatever's out there, it isn't just alien technology. It's something else entirely." The escape pod launched moments before the Covenant cruiser broke apart, its fractured hull scattering into the void. As the small craft accelerated away from the wreckage, Master Chief watched through the viewport as the broken ship tumbled toward the massive space station. In the distance, smaller vessels converged on the debris field, their designs unlike anything he had encountered before. "Chief," Cortana's voice had grown tense. "Those ships are on an intercept course." The Spartan checked his weapons one final time. "Then let's introduce ourselves." The escape pod's thrusters fired, attempting evasive maneuvers, but the pursuing craft were faster, more maneuverable. A bright flash of green energy struck their port side, sending the lifeboat into an uncontrolled spin. Systems failed as power surged and died. "Brace for impact," Cortana warned as the pod plummeted toward the surface of the space station. The crash was violent, metal tearing and sparks flying as the escape pod carved a path through a hangar bay before coming to rest against a bulkhead. Warning lights flashed inside the pod as smoke filled the cabin. Master Chief's armor protected him from the worst of the impact, but the systems were momentarily overwhelmed, leaving him disoriented. Through the shattered viewport, he could see figures approaching, white-armored soldiers with weapons raised. Their helmets covered their faces, giving them an inhuman appearance. Behind them stood a tall figure in black, a strange cylinder in hand. "Chief," Cortana's voice was urgent in his ear. "We need to move. Now." The Spartan kicked open the escape pod's hatch, the reinforced metal flying outward and knocking down two of the approaching soldiers. In one fluid motion, he emerged from the wreckage, assault rifle raised. "Halt," a mechanical voice ordered. "Identify yourself." Master Chief assessed his opponents. 12 soldiers in white armor, formation suggesting military training, weapons unfamiliar but clearly hostile. And the figure in black, radiating authority and something else, something Cortana had sensed before. A living energy field. "Cortana, analysis," Chief murmured, his voice inaudible outside his helmet. "Their armor appears to be composite plastics, not energy-shielded, weapons likely energy-based. The one in black is different. I'm detecting unusual energy readings from that handheld device." The black-clad figure stepped forward, and a beam of crimson light extended from the cylinder in his hand, casting an eerie glow across the hangar bay. "Impressive design," the figure said, voice distorted through a respirator. "The Emperor will be most interested in your armor, droid." "Droid?" Cortana whispered. "They think you're a robot?" The soldiers opened fire, red bolts of energy streaking toward the Spartan. Master Chief's training took over, his augmented reflexes, carrying him into motion before conscious thought. He rolled behind a stack of containers, bullets from his assault rifle finding targets with inhuman precision. 3 soldiers fell, their white armor punctured by conventional projectiles they had never encountered. "Their armor is ineffective against kinetic weapons," Cortana noted. Chief reloaded, calculating angles and distances. "What about the one with the laser sword?" "Unknown capabilities. Recommend extreme caution." The figure in black advanced, deflecting bullets with impossible precision using the blade of light. Master Chief switched tactics, tossing a fragmentation grenade that exploded near the remaining soldiers, scattering them. As smoke filled the hangar, he moved to flank his adversary. "Impressive," the dark figure stated, turning to track the Spartan despite the obscured visibility. "But futile." Without warning, Chief felt himself lifted from the ground, an invisible force gripping his half-ton armor as though it weighed nothing. He struggled against the unseen restraint as he was pulled toward the black-clad figure, suspended in mid-air. "The force is strong with this one," a second voice announced as another figure entered the hangar. Tall and gaunt, dressed in red robes, he approached with measured steps. "It is not a droid, Lord Vader. It lives, though its mind is. It's shielded somehow." The pressure around Chief's armor intensified, metal groaning under the strain. Warning indicators flashed across his HUD as his shields began to fail. "Chief, whatever they're doing, it's affecting your suit systems," Cortana warned. "Power fluctuating. Neural interface experiencing interference." With a supreme effort, Master Chief managed to raise his sidearm, firing a single shot at a fuel cell near the red-robed figure. The explosion rocked the hangar, breaking the invisible hold and sending him crashing to the deck. Seizing the moment of confusion, he sprinted toward an open corridor, bullets from his assault rifle keeping the remaining soldiers pinned down. "We need to find a way off this station," Chief said as he moved through the unfamiliar passageways, alert for pursuit. "Working on it," Cortana replied. "I'm accessing their computer systems. Primitive encryption by our standards, but the architecture is completely alien. Chief, according to what I'm finding, we're in something called the Galactic Empire, and this station is a military installation called the Death Star." The Spartan found a maintenance shaft, pulling himself up into the narrow space above the corridors. "Friendly name. It gets worse. This station is designed to destroy entire planets, and it's almost operational." Master Chief paused, processing this information. One problem at a time, Cortana. Find us a ship. There's a hangar bay 2 levels down with what appear to be small craft. Interceptors, they call them. But Chief, there's something else you should know. These people, this empire, they hunted down and exterminated a group called the Jedi. Peacekeepers with abilities similar to what we just witnessed. And the one called Vader, he's hunting down the survivors. The Spartan moved through the maintenance shafts, following Cortana's directions. Sounds familiar. Too familiar. Cortana agreed. The parallels to our own war are unsettling. Chief, I'm detecting a transmission being sent from this station. They're reporting our presence to someone called the Emperor. Alarms began to sound throughout the station as Master Chief descended toward the lower hangar bay. Security protocols activated, blast doors sealing, and patrols mobilizing. The Spartan moved silently, years of training allowing him to avoid detection despite his armor's bulk. The hangar bay contained rows of small, angular craft with vertical wings and twin cannons. Imperial TIE fighters, according to Cortana's data retrieval. Beyond them, the magnetic containment field that separated the bay from the vacuum of space shimmered faintly. "Can you fly one of these?" Chief asked, approaching the nearest fighter. "In theory," Cortana replied. "Their control systems are crude but comprehensible. The real question is whether you can fit inside with that armor." A squad of stormtroopers entered the hangar, weapons raised. Master Chief took cover behind the fighter's wing, calculating his options. Direct confrontation would alert the entire station to his location. Stealth was preferable. "Cortana, can you access the hangar's systems? Create a distraction." "Already on it," the AI responded. "Prepare to move in 3, 2, 1. The lights in the hangar flickered and died, plunging the vast chamber into darkness. Emergency systems activated moments later, bathing everything in a red glow. In the confusion, Master Chief moved swiftly, disabling 3 stormtroopers with precise strikes before they could raise the alarm. "The fighters prepped," Cortana announced. "It's going to be a tight fit." The Spartan removed a fallen trooper's utility belt, extracting what appeared to be identification cylinders and access codes. These might be useful later. As he approached the TIE fighter, the hangar doors slid open once more. Master Chief turned, weapons ready, only to find himself facing not stormtroopers, but a group of figures in mismatched armor. Their leader, a woman with blue and white painted armor, raised a hand in a gesture that might have been meant to calm or threaten. "Easy, big guy," she said in accented basic. "We're not with the Empire." Behind her, her companions trained weapons on the Spartan, their stances suggesting professional military experience. One of them, a male with a scar across his face, whistled low. "Never seen armor like that before. You some kind of new purge trooper." "He's not Imperial," the woman decided, studying Chief's armor. "Empire doesn't use green." "Who are you, stranger?" Master Chief assessed the newcomers. 5 individuals, well-armed, coordinated, movements suggesting unit cohesion, not Imperial forces, based on their armor and apparent hostility toward the stormtroopers. "Cortana?" he muttered. Their armor design matches historical records for a warrior culture called Mandalorians, the AI supplied. According to the data I've accessed, they're notorious mercenaries and bounty hunters. "We don't have time for introductions," the woman continued, gesturing toward the door. "This whole station is looking for you, and our window is closing. Come with us if you want off this rock." The Spartan weighed his options. These Mandalorians offered a way out and potentially valuable information about this unfamiliar galaxy. But trust did not come easily to someone trained from childhood for war. "Why help me?" he asked, voice modulated through his helmet. The woman's helmeted head tilted slightly. "Let's just say the enemy of my enemy is a potential payday. The rebellion will pay good credits for whatever sent the imps into such a frenzy. Now, are you coming or not?" Another alarm sounded, this one more urgent than before. The Mandalorian woman cursed in a language Chief's translator couldn't identify. "Decision time, stranger," she said. "That alarm means they're sending reinforcements." "Lots of them." Master Chief nodded once. "Lead the way." The Mandalorians moved with practiced efficiency, leading the Spartan through service corridors and maintenance tunnels. Their familiarity with the station's layout suggested previous infiltration missions or insider information. "I'm Bo-Katan," the woman said as they moved. "That's Fen, Rook, Axe, and Koska. We're here extracting intelligence for clients who pay well for Imperial secrets." "John," the Spartan replied simply, decades of operational security preventing him from revealing more. "That armor," Rook observed. "Never seen anything like it. Not Beskar, obviously. Some kind of new alloy?" "Something like that," Chief answered non-committally. They reached a small docking bay where an unmarked transport waited, engines already running. As they approached, blaster fire erupted from behind them. A squad of stormtroopers had discovered their position and opened fire. The Mandalorians reacted instantly, jetpacks igniting as they took to the air, returning fire from elevated positions. Master Chief took cover, his assault rifles remaining ammunition cutting down 3 troopers with precision bursts. "Get to the ship," Bo-Katan ordered, firing wrist-mounted weapons at the Imperial forces. "We'll cover you." Chief moved toward the transport, providing covering fire for his new allies. As the last of the Mandalorians boarded, the doors began to close automatically. Through the narrowing gap, Master Chief caught sight of a familiar black figure striding into the hangar, red lightsaber ignited. "Incoming," he warned, raising his rifle. The transport's engines roared as it lifted off, blaster fire from pursuing TIE fighters impacting against its shields. Bo-Katan slid into the pilot's seat, hands flying over the controls as she executed evasive maneuvers. "Hold on," she called back. "This is going to get rough." The ship accelerated away from the Death Star, diving toward the nearby planet to use its gravity well for a slingshot maneuver. TIE fighters pursued, their distinctive engines screaming as they closed the distance. "Rook, Axe, man the turrets," Bo-Katan ordered. "Fen, calculate the jump to hyperspace. We need to lose them before they can track us." Master Chief moved to a viewport, watching as the massive space station receded behind them. "Cortana, analysis of our situation? Based on their technology and what I've gathered from their computer systems, we've somehow crossed into an entirely different reality," the AI replied privately. "The physics here are similar but not identical to our universe, and this energy field, the Force, it operates on principles that defy conventional science." "Can we get home?" he asked, voice low enough that the Mandalorians couldn't hear. There was a pause before Cortana answered. "I don't know, Chief. The anomaly that brought us here was unstable, possibly a one-time event. For now, we need to focus on survival and gathering information." The transport shuddered as it absorbed enemy fire, shields weakening under the barrage. Bo-Katan banked hard, skimming the atmosphere of the planet below, using its gravitational pull to accelerate beyond the pursuit craft. "Fen, I need those coordinates now," she shouted over the noise of straining engines. "Got it," the male Mandalorian replied. Jumping in 3, 2, 1. The stars outside the viewport stretched into lines as the transport entered hyperspace, leaving the Imperial forces behind. For the moment, they were safe. Bo-Katan engaged the autopilot and turned to face her mysterious passenger. "So, John, care to explain why the Empire is so interested in you that Darth Vader himself showed up to the party?" Master Chief remained silent, evaluating his response. These warriors had helped him escape, but their motivations remained unclear. Trust was a luxury he could not afford. "I'm not from around here," he said finally. Bo-Katan laughed, the sound distorted through her helmet. "Understatement of the year. Your armor, your weapons, that ghost in your systems that's been pinging our communications array since you came aboard. You're something new." Chief tensed. "What do you mean, ghost?" "Please," Bo-Katan scoffed. "Our armor might not be as fancy as yours, but it has decent scanners. There's an AI construct integrated with your suit. Empire doesn't have anything that sophisticated, which makes you valuable to a lot of people. Chief, Cortana's voice was urgent in his ear. If they know about me, others might too. That man, Vader, he seemed to sense something unusual about your neural interface. Master Chief's hand moved imperceptibly closer to his sidearm. What do you want? The Mandalorian, Vader removed her helmet, revealing a woman with short red hair and piercing eyes that evaluated him with cold calculation. Originally, just Imperial intel we could sell to the highest bidder. But now, I'm thinking you might be worth more. Bo, Fen warned from the navigator's seat. We're not slavers or bounty hunters for the Empire. I didn't say we'd sell him to the Empire, she replied, eyes never leaving the Spartan. But the rebellion would give their left arms for technology that could give them an edge. Master Chief remained still, calculating odds and scenarios. In close quarters, against 5 trained warriors, his chances were good but not certain, and he needed information more than conflict. I'm not for sale, he stated, but I am looking for allies. Bo-Katan studied him for a long moment before nodding. Fair enough. We're headed to a place called Navarro. It's an outer rim world, minimal Imperial presence. We can talk more there. As the Mandalorians dispersed to attend to the ship's functions, Cortana spoke privately to Chief. I've been analyzing the data I extracted from the Death Star. This galaxy is in the midst of a civil war. The Galactic Empire rose from the ashes of something called the Republic about 20 years ago. They're led by Emperor Palpatine and enforced by Darth Vader, both wielders of an energy they call the dark side of the Force. And the rebellion? Chief asked. A scattered resistance movement fighting to restore democratic rule. They're outgunned and outmanned, but growing in strength. There's something familiar about all this, isn't there? The Spartan watched the blue tunnel of hyperspace through the viewport, remembering countless battles against overwhelming odds. We've fought worse. True, Cortana agreed. But there's something else. These Force users, particularly the Sith like Vader and Palpatine, they can sense living minds. That's how Vader knew you weren't a droid. I'm concerned about what else he might have sensed. Master Chief considered this. You think he could detect your presence? It's possible. The way my matrix interfaces with your neural implants creates a unique energy signature. In a universe where this force exists, that signature might be detectable. We should be cautious about who knows about me. The journey through hyperspace continued in relative silence, the Mandalorians keeping their distance from their unusual passenger. Chief used the time to perform maintenance on his armor, assessing damage and conserving power. Without UNSC facilities, each scratch and dent would become permanent, each power cell irreplaceable. Hours later, the ship dropped out of hyperspace near a dusty, orange-brown planet. Bo-Katan returned to the cockpit, guiding the transport down through the atmosphere toward a settlement nestled among volcanic formations. "Welcome to Navarro," she announced as they touched down on a landing pad outside the town. Not much to look at, but it's a good place to disappear for a while. The Mandalorians led Master Chief through streets filled with a bewildering array of alien species, many unlike anything he had encountered in his own galaxy. The settlement had the feel of a frontier town, with cantinas, traders, and mercenaries mixing freely. "We have a safe house here," Bo-Katan explained as they approached a nondescript building on the outskirts. "You can rest there while we make some inquiries. The Empire will be looking for you, but information travels slowly to the outer rim." Inside, the safe house was spartanly furnished but secure, with reinforced walls and multiple exit points. The Mandalorians removed their helmets, revealing a diverse group bound by their shared armor and apparent code. "So, stranger," Fen said, placing his helmet on a table. "Time to share more than just your first name. What's your story?" Master Chief stood with his back to a wall, tactical habit keeping exits within reach. "I'm a soldier. My ship was damaged and drifted through some kind of anomaly. Woke up near your Death Star." "A soldier," Bo-Katan repeated skeptically. That armor and those reflexes suggest something more specialized. And you're obviously not from any system in the known galaxy. Chief remained silent, weighing how much to reveal. Cortana's voice came through his helmet's internal speakers. "We need allies, John. Limited trust might be necessary for survival." After a moment, the Spartan spoke. "Where I come from, we were at war with an alliance of alien species called the Covenant. They were systematically destroying human worlds. I was part of a program created to fight them." "Spartans." "Spartans," Axe echoed, testing the unfamiliar word. "Some kind of elite military unit?" "Something like that," Chief confirmed. Bo-Katan's eyes narrowed with interest. "And now you're here, in our war." "Convenient timing." "Not by choice," Chief replied. "But I've seen enough of your empire to know which side I'd choose." The Mandalorian leader nodded slowly. "The enemy of my enemy indeed. Rest up, Spartan. Tomorrow we'll see about finding you a more permanent arrangement." As night fell on Navarro, Master Chief stood watch while his Mandalorian allies slept in shifts. Through the safe house's small window, he could see the twin moons rising over the volcanic landscape, a sight both alien and hauntingly familiar. Somewhere out there, beyond the stars visible from this planet, was his home galaxy, unreachable and possibly lost forever. "Can't sleep?" Cortana asked, her voice a comforting presence in his helmet. "Spartans can go weeks without proper rest," he reminded her. "That doesn't mean you should. Even super soldiers need downtime." Chief continued his vigil, mind calculating probabilities and strategies. "What do you make of these Mandalorians?" "Professional warriors with a strong cultural identity," Cortana assessed. "From what I can gather from local networks, there are people in exile. Their homeworld was occupied by the Empire, and they've been scattered across the galaxy. Bo-Katan appears to be leading one faction hoping to reclaim their planet. Can we trust them?" Cortana hesitated. "Trust is relative. They helped us escape, but they're also pragmatists. They see value in you, either as an ally or an asset. I'd say we can work with them for now, but keep our options open." The Spartan nodded, satisfied with the assessment. "And this rebellion?" "Their odds aren't good," the AI admitted. "The Empire controls most major systems, has vastly superior firepower, and rules through fear. But there's growing resistance, especially in the Outer Rim territories. The rebellion has recently won some small victories, captured some Imperial intelligence. They're planning something big, but details are scarce." Master Chief processed this information, drawing parallels to his own experiences fighting the Covenant. "We've faced worse odds. We had the UNSC behind us then," Cortana reminded him gently. "Here, we're alone." The Spartan's reply was interrupted by the sound of approaching engines. Multiple vehicles, moving fast and with purpose. Chief moved to alert Bo-Katan, but she was already awake, helmet in hand. "Imperial Patrol," she said, peering through specialized macrobinoculars. "2 transports, at least 20 troopers," someone talked. The Mandalorians mobilized with practiced efficiency, gathering weapons and essential gear. Bo-Katan turned to Chief. "We need to split up. They're looking for you specifically, and a group of Mandalorians with a 2-meter-tall armored giant isn't exactly low profile." "Where?" Chief asked, checking his dwindling ammunition. "There's a spaceport on the other side of the settlement. Meet us there in 2 hours. If we're not there, assume we're captured or dead and find your own way off-planet." Master Chief nodded. 2 hours. The Mandalorians exited through a hidden passage beneath the safe house, while Chief chose a more direct route. As Imperial forces surrounded the building, he burst through a side wall, the structural integrity no match for his augmented strength. Stormtroopers opened fire, but the Spartan was already moving, his inhuman speed carrying him into the shadows of Navarro's winding streets. "They're transmitting your description to all Imperial forces in the sector," Cortana warned, monitoring enemy communications, specifically mentioning your green armor. It would be advantageous to find an alternative. Chief moved through back alleys and across rooftops, avoiding main thoroughfares where Imperial patrols were concentrating their search. He encountered a small group of stormtroopers in a narrow passage, dispatching them with silent efficiency before they could alert others to his position. "Cortana, map of the settlement?" he requested. "Compiling from local networks and surveillance systems," she replied. "Navarro town is primarily centered around a main marketplace with radiating streets. The spaceport Bo-Katan mentioned is located 2 kilometers northeast of our position. There's significant Imperial presence between us and the rendezvous point." The Spartan considered his options. Direct confrontation would draw unwanted attention and potentially endanger civilians. Stealth was preferable, but his distinctive armor made that challenging. As he contemplated his next move, a commotion erupted in the main square, drawing Imperial forces away from his position. "The Mandalorians are creating a diversion," Cortana observed. "They're engaging Imperial forces on the opposite side of the settlement." Master Chief used the opportunity to move toward the spaceport, avoiding confrontation where possible. When he encountered isolated patrols, he disabled them quickly and silently, using his combat knife rather than firearms to maintain stealth. The spaceport was a collection of landing pads and fueling stations, with minimal security compared to major facilities. Chief identified several ships that could potentially serve as transport off-world, evaluating their capabilities and security measures. 2 minutes until rendezvous, Cortana noted. "I'm detecting Imperial communications suggesting they've captured one of the Mandalorians. A female, possibly Bo-Katan." The Spartan positioned himself with clear sightlines to the approach routes, prepared for either the arrival of his allies or the need to secure alternate transportation. As the designated time approached, he spotted 3 armored figures moving quickly through the shadows toward the spaceport. Fen, Rook, and Koska arrived at the rendezvous point, weapons ready and signs of recent combat evident on their armor. Axe and Bo-Katan were noticeably absent. "Imps got bow and axe," Fen explained tersely. "They're being transported to an Imperial facility for interrogation. Standard procedure would be immediate transfer off-world to prevent rescue attempts." "We need to move quickly," Koska added. "That transport with Bo leaves in 20 minutes. Once it's in orbit, we lose our window." Master Chief processed this information, calculating variables and potential outcomes. "Where is the transport?" "Imperial landing pad on the north side," Fen replied. "Heavy security, at least 30 troops plus whatever's on the transport itself. We'll never break through that kind of security with just the 4 of us," Rook argued. "We need to fall back, regroup with other cells." Chief checked his weapons, mind already formulating a plan. "You don't need to break through. You just need a distraction." The Mandalorians exchanged glances, understanding dawning. Fen nodded grimly. "What do you need from us?" "Access to the landing pad's security systems and a clear extraction route once I have your people." "I can slice into their network," Koska offered. "Temporarily disable perimeter sensors and security cameras." Fen pointed to a volcanic ridge overlooking the Imperial facility. "We'll set up there with ranged weapons. When you give the signal, we'll provide covering fire for extraction." The plan was simple but effective, relying on the element of surprise and the Spartans' unique capabilities. Within minutes, they were in position, with Koska tapping into Imperial systems from a secured datapad. "Security systems compromised," she reported. "You have a 5-minute window before their diagnostics detect the intrusion." Master Chief moved toward the Imperial facility, using natural cover to approach undetected. Through his helmet's enhanced optics, he could see the prisoner transport being prepared for departure, stormtroopers loading equipment and securing the perimeter. Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorian are being held in the transport's detention area, Cortana informed him, analyzing the facility's layout from hacked security feeds. Standard Imperial protocol suggests minimal guards inside the vessel during pre-flight preparations. The Spartan circled to the facility's blind spot, where waste management systems created a gap in sensor coverage. With a powerful leap, he scaled the perimeter wall, dropping silently onto the landing pad behind a stack of supply crates. 3 guards at the transport's ramp, Cortana noted, 2 more patrolling the immediate area. Recommend neutralizing the patrol first to avoid premature alarm. Chief moved with preternatural stealth, decades of training allowing him to remain undetected despite his armor's bulk. He incapacitated the patrolling guards with swift, silent strikes, hiding their unconscious forms behind equipment containers. The 3 guards at the ramp presented a more complex challenge. They stood in clear view of the facility's command center, and any disturbance would trigger an immediate response. Chief needed a different approach. Cortana, can you access the transport systems? Attempting now, the AI replied. After a brief pause, she continued. Limited access established. I can trigger a diagnostic warning in the engine compartment, which should draw their attention. Moments later, warning lights flashed near the transport's engines. 2 of the guards moved to investigate, leaving a single stormtrooper watching the ramp. Chief seized the opportunity, moving swiftly across the open space and neutralizing the remaining guard before he could raise an alarm. Inside the transport, the Spartan moved efficiently through the narrow corridors, encountering minimal resistance. The vessel's detention area was located near the rear, secured by a standard Imperial locking mechanism that Cortana bypassed with ease. Bo-Katan and Axe looked up in surprise as the cell door slid open. Both showed signs of rough treatment, but their expressions hardened with resolve at the sight of the Spartan. Didn't expect to see you again, Bo-Katan remarked, rising to her feet. We had an agreement, Chief replied simply, handing them confiscated weapons from the guards he had disabled. Where are the others? Axe asked as they moved toward the exit. Providing extraction support. We need to move quickly. As they approached the transport's ramp, alarms began to sound throughout the facility. Their escape had been discovered, and Imperial forces were mobilizing in response. Cortana, signal the Mandalorians, Chief ordered. We need covering fire now. Outside, chaos erupted as precision shots from the volcanic ridge struck key Imperial positions. Fuel cells exploded, creating confusion and forcing stormtroopers to take cover. In the midst of the disorder, Chief led Bo-Katan and Axe across the landing pad toward their escape route. Imperial forces rallied quickly, blaster fire intensifying as they identified the escaping prisoners. Chief positioned himself between the Mandalorians and their pursuers, his armor absorbing hits that would have been fatal to his less protected allies. This way, Bo-Katan shouted over the noise of battle, leading them toward a maintenance tunnel that would connect to their extraction point. As they reached the tunnel entrance, a distinctive sound cut through the cacophony of blaster fire and explosions. A rhythmic mechanical breathing, followed by the ignition of a crimson lightsaber. Darth Vader had arrived. Go, Chief ordered, turning to face the approaching Sith Lord. I'll hold him off. Bo-Katan hesitated momentarily. He's not like other Imperials. You can't beat him alone. I'm never alone, the Spartan replied, raising his weapons as Vader approached. The Mandalorians retreated into the tunnel as Chief advanced to meet his opponent. The Dark Lord of the Sith moved with unnatural grace, his lightsaber held at the ready. Impressive perseverance, Vader intoned, but futile. The Emperor has foreseen your importance to the future of the Empire. You will accompany me to Coruscant. Master Chief's response was a burst of rifle fire, which Vader deflected with contemptuous ease. The Sith Lord extended his hand, and Chief felt that same invisible force gripping his armor, attempting to lift him. But the Spartan was prepared this time. As Vader's power took hold, Chief activated his armor's thrusters, the sudden burst of momentum breaking the force grip and propelling him toward his opponent. The unexpected maneuver caught Vader off guard, allowing Chief to close the distance before the Sith Lord could re-establish control. The collision was thunderous, half a ton of MJOLNIR armor crashing into the Dark Lord. Even with his force-enhanced strength, Vader staggered backward from the impact. His lightsaber slashed in a crimson arc, connecting with Chief's armor and leaving a glowing score mark across the chest plate. "Chief, suit integrity compromised," Cortana warned. "That weapon cuts through energy shielding like it isn't there." The Spartan adjusted his tactics, maintaining close proximity to negate Vader's advantage with the lightsaber. He landed a powerful blow to the Sith Lord's respirator, the Resentient's 5 Mother, impact sending Vader reeling momentarily. "Your combat skills are impressive," Vader acknowledged, voice unaffected despite the damage to his suit. "But the Force is stronger than any physical prowess." Without warning, objects from around the landing pad lifted into the air, tools, containers, and debris becoming projectiles hurled toward the Spartan with devastating force. Chief dodged and deflected what he could, but the sheer volume of the assault overwhelmed even his enhanced reflexes. A heavy storage container struck him from behind, sending him to one knee. Vader closed in for the kill, lightsaber raised. "Now you will understand the power of the dark side." As the lightsaber descended, Chief reached up with inhuman speed, catching Vader's wrist with one hand. For a moment, they were locked in a contest of strength, Spartan augmentation against Sith power. "Cortana," Chief grunted, "the tunnel." "On it," the AI replied. The maintenance tunnel that Bo-Katan and the others had escaped through suddenly erupted in a shower of sparks as Cortana overloaded its power conduits. The explosion created a momentary distraction, allowing Chief to break free from Vader's grip and deliver a powerful kick to the Sith Lord's chest, sending him backward into a support column. Taking advantage of the opening, Chief sprinted toward an Imperial speeder bike, leaping aboard and activating its engines in one fluid motion. As the vehicle roared to life, he accelerated away from the facility, blaster fire from pursuing stormtroopers dissipating against his shields. "The Mandalorians have reached the extraction point," Cortana informed him, "coordinates uploaded to your HUD." Chief navigated the speeder through Navarro's rugged terrain, the pursuing Imperial forces gradually falling behind. When he reached the designated coordinates, he found Bo-Katan and her team already aboard a different ship, engines primed for departure. "You made it," Fen remarked as Chief boarded. "Didn't think anyone could go toe-to-toe with Vader and walk away." "We need to move," Bo-Katan ordered, already guiding the ship into the atmosphere. "That encounter will bring the full might of the Empire down on Navarro." As they broke orbit, Imperial ships moved to intercept, TIE fighters deploying from a Star Destroyer that had entered the system. Bo-Katan executed evasive maneuvers, her piloting skills keeping them ahead of the pursuing craft. "Coordinates for hyperspace loaded," Axe announced. "Ready to jump on your mark." Bo-Katan glanced back at the Spartan, a new respect in her eyes. "Hope you're ready for a longer journey this time. We're heading to meet the rebellion." The stars stretched into lines as the ship entered hyperspace, leaving the Imperial forces behind once more. In the relative safety of hyperspace, the Mandalorians gathered to assess their situation and plan their next move. "That was Darth Vader himself," Koska stated, disbelief evident in her voice. "How did you survive that encounter?" Chief performed maintenance on his damaged armor, examining the lightsaber score that had penetrated his shields. "I've fought worse." Bo-Katan's expression was skeptical. "I doubt that. Vader has hunted and killed Jedi Masters, warriors trained since birth in combat and the Force." "The Spartan program started earlier," Chief replied simply, offering no further explanation. The journey through hyperspace lasted several days, with multiple jumps to avoid potential tracking. Chief used the time to rest and repair what damage he could to his armor, while Cortana continued to gather information from the ship's systems and the Mandalorians' discussions. "They're taking us to a planet called Dantooine," Cortana informed him privately. "According to the data I've accessed, it was once home to a Jedi training enclave, abandoned for centuries. The rebellion has established a temporary base there while they prepare for some major operation." Chief nodded imperceptibly. "Assessment of our position?" Complicated, the AI admitted. These Mandalorians respect strength and honor, concepts you embody. They've accepted you as a warrior, but their ultimate loyalty is to their own people. The rebellion represents potential allies with resources and information we need, but they'll have their own agenda as well. And the Empire? A clear threat. Their technology may be different from the Covenant, but their methods and goals are disturbingly familiar. Domination, suppression, destruction of any who oppose them, and they want you, Chief. Specifically, your armor and whatever they sensed about our connection. The Spartan considered this information, weighing options and potential outcomes. One battle at a time, Cortana. The ship emerged from hyperspace near a verdant world, its surface a patchwork of grasslands and forests. As they descended through the atmosphere, Chief could see the remains of ancient structures scattered across the landscape, their purpose long forgotten. Bo-Katan guided the vessel toward a hidden facility built into the side of a mountain, its entrance concealed by natural formations and energy shields designed to mask life signs and technology. "Welcome to the rebellion," she said as they landed in an underground hangar filled with a variety of starfighters and transport vessels. At least one branch of it. They were met by a delegation of rebellion officers, led by a woman with an air of natural authority despite her youth. Princess Leia Organa, according to the whispered conversations among the Mandalorians. "Bo-Katan," Leia greeted the Mandalorian leader. "Your message said you encountered Imperial forces on Navarro. We feared you had been captured." "Almost," Bo-Katan replied, gesturing toward Chief. "We found something the Empire wants badly enough that Vader himself came to collect." Leia's gaze shifted to the Spartan, taking in his imposing armor and stoic demeanor. "I see. And who might you be?" "Master, Chief Petty Officer John 117, he responded formally, defaulting to military protocol. The princess raised an eyebrow. "That's quite a title. What branch of service?" "UNSC Naval Special Warfare Command," Chief answered, knowing the designation would mean nothing to her. "He's not from around here," Bo-Katan interjected. "Way not from around here. And his armor and capabilities are unlike anything we've seen." Leia considered this information, her political training allowing her to mask any surprise. "We have many allies from many worlds. If you oppose the Empire, you'll find friends here. Please, follow me. We should continue this conversation more privately." The rebellion base was a hive of activity, personnel moving with purpose as they prepared equipment, analyzed data, and trained for combat. Chief noted the mix of species and the relatively primitive technology compared to the UNSC, yet there was a determination in the eyes of the rebels that reminded him of the Marines he had fought alongside for decades. Leia led them to a secure briefing room where several senior rebellion officers waited. After introductions, Chief provided a sanitized version of his arrival in their galaxy, omitting specific details about Cortana and his augmentations. "A soldier from beyond known space," a Mon Calamari officer mused. "In normal times, I might find such a story difficult to believe. But these are not normal times." "The question," Leia stated, "is what you intend to do now that you're here, Master Chief." The Spartan's response was direct. "What I was trained to do, fight against those who threaten innocent lives." His words seemed to satisfy the rebellion leaders, who exchanged glances of cautious approval. Leia nodded. "The Empire has subjugated countless worlds, eliminated entire species, and rules through fear and brutality. We could use someone with your skills." "But first," interrupted an older human general, "we need to understand those skills and how best to deploy them. Bo-Katan reports you engaged Darth Vader in direct combat and survived. That alone makes you unique." The briefing continued, with rebellion intelligence officers providing updates on Imperial movements and the status of various rebel cells across the galaxy. Chief listened attentively, absorbing the strategic situation, while Cortana analyzed the data being presented. "Their primary concern at the moment is an Imperial superweapon," Cortana noted privately. The Death Star we encountered. According to their intelligence, it has the capacity to destroy entire planets. They're planning an operation to secure the technical readouts, hoping to find a weakness. When the briefing concluded, Leia approached Chief privately. There's someone else who would like to meet you, someone who might better understand your unique abilities. She led him to a secluded section of the base where an elderly man in worn robes waited. His bearing suggested military training, but there was something else about him, a sense of contained power similar to what Chief had sensed in Vader. "This is General Kenobi," Leia introduced, "one of the last of the Jedi Order." Obi-Wan Kenobi studied the Spartan with keen eyes that seemed to see beyond the armor. "Princess Leia tells me you faced Vader and lived to tell the tale. Few can claim such a distinction." Chief remained silent, assessing the old Jedi. Cortana's voice came through his helmet's speakers, audible to those present. "He's different from Vader, same energy signature, but cleaner somehow." Kenobi's eyebrows rose in surprise. "Your companion is perceptive. What you sense is the difference between the light and dark sides of the Force." Cortana, Chief introduced simply, "An artificial intelligence," Kenobi realized. "Fascinating. And your connection to her is what Vader sensed, I suspect. A bond between living mind and digital consciousness, creating ripples in the Force unlike anything in our experience." "Can he track us through it?" Chief asked, practical concerns taking precedence. "Perhaps, given time and focus," Kenobi admitted. "But the galaxy is vast, and even Vader's powers have limits. More concerning is what the Emperor might do if he learned of your existence. A warrior of your capabilities, combined with an intelligence like Cortana, would be a prize he would stop at nothing to acquire." "We've dealt with existential threats before," Cortana replied with characteristic confidence. Kenobi smiled faintly. "I don't doubt it. But understand, the Force is not merely another weapon or technology to master. It binds all living things, guides destinies, shapes the very fabric of our reality." "With respect," Chief responded, "my concern is more immediate. How to fight against those who use this Force for oppression?" The old Jedi nodded, direct and to the point. "Very well. Vader's strength comes from his connection to the dark side, fueled by anger, fear, and hatred. His physical body is extensively cybernetic, not unlike your own augmentations, but cruder and born of necessity rather than design. His lightsaber can cut through almost any material known to us." "I noticed," Chief replied, indicating the score mark across his chest plate. "Yet you survived where Jedi Masters fell," Kenobi mused. "Your armor must be exceptional indeed." Mjolnir Mark V, Cortana supplied. Titanium alloy plating, reactive liquid crystal layer, hydrostatic gel, shield emitters capable of withstanding plasma weaponry, neural interface linking directly to the Chief's enhanced nervous system. The most advanced combat system where we come from. Kenobi absorbed this information. Impressive technology. But technology alone will not defeat Vader or the Emperor. They have crushed armies and fleets with the power of the dark side. "We've beaten worse odds," Chief stated simply. The Jedi studied him for a long moment. "Perhaps you have. The Force works in mysterious ways, bringing you here at this critical moment. I sense great purpose in you, Master Chief. A destiny that may yet turn the tide of this conflict." In the days that followed, Chief integrated himself into the rebellion's operations, providing tactical assessments and training for their ground forces. His combat expertise and strategic thinking quickly earned the respect of the rebel commanders, while his armored presence became a symbol of hope for the rank and file. Cortana, meanwhile, worked with rebellion slicers to analyze Imperial defense systems and communication protocols, her advanced algorithms breaking encryptions that had previously seemed impenetrable. The information she uncovered proved invaluable, revealing Imperial patrol routes and security vulnerabilities. "They're planning a major operation," Cortana informed Chief as they reviewed the latest intelligence reports. "The Death Star technical readouts have been secured by rebel agents and are being transported here." Princess Leia herself has gone to rendezvous with the courier. Chief nodded, studying the tactical displays. And the Empire? Increasing patrols in this sector. They suspect a rebel base is nearby, but haven't pinpointed Dantooine yet. However, there's something else. Vader's flagship, the Executor, has changed course. It's heading for Tatooine, the same system where Leia was sent. The Spartan processed this information. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences anymore, Cortana replied. Not in a universe where the Force exists. Something's happening, Chief. Something important. Their discussion was interrupted by an urgent summons to the command center. When they arrived, they found the rebellion leadership gathered around a holographic display, faces grim with concern. We've lost contact with Princess Leia's ship, Admiral Akbar informed them. Our last communication indicated they were under attack by an Imperial Star Destroyer near Tatooine. Vader, Chief stated with certainty. Akbar nodded, solemnly. If the princess has been captured, and if the Death Star plans were aboard her vessel, then the Empire knows about this base. General Dodonna concluded. We must evacuate immediately. The rebellion base erupted into controlled chaos as personnel began dismantling equipment and loading transport ships. Years of operating under Imperial pursuit had made evacuation procedures second nature to the rebel forces. Chief approached Kenobi, who stood apart from the activity, his expression distant. You're not evacuating. The Jedi smiled faintly. My path leads elsewhere. There is a young man on Tatooine, someone crucial to the future of the rebellion and the Jedi. I must ensure he receives the plans Princess Leia was carrying. You believe they made it to the planet? I sense it, Kenobi confirmed. The princess is resourceful. She would have found a way to safeguard the information before her capture. Chief considered this. You'll need backup. Vader will be hunting for those plans. I appreciate the offer, the Jedi replied, but stealth is my ally now. Your skills would be better utilized helping the rebellion establish their new base. When the time comes for direct confrontation with the Empire, that is when they will need you most. Before Chief could respond, Bo-Katan approached, her armor battle-ready. We're heading out, Spartan. The rebellion is scattering to predetermined rendezvous points. We've been asked to escort a transport to a planet called Yavin 4. Chief looked between the Mandalorian and the Jedi, weighing his options. Kenobi nodded encouragingly. Go with them. The Force has brought you here for a purpose, and I believe that purpose awaits you with the rebellion. The evacuation proceeded smoothly, with ships departing in staggered intervals to avoid detection. Chief joined Bo-Katan and her Mandalorians aboard a transport carrying essential equipment and personnel. As they prepared for departure, Cortana accessed the ship's communications array, monitoring Imperial transmissions. Chief, she reported urgently, I'm picking up encrypted Imperial communications. They're celebrating some kind of successful test, something about a planet called Alderaan, the Death Star, Bo-Katan realized, her voice hollow with shock. They've used it. The journey to Yavin 4 was subdued, the news of Alderaan's destruction casting a pall over the rebellion forces. When they arrived at the jungle moon, they found other rebel ships already establishing a new base within an ancient temple complex. In the days that followed, the full horror of Alderaan's fate became clear. The Death Star had demonstrated its power by destroying an entire planet, billions of lives extinguished in an instant. The act was meant to terrify the galaxy into submission, but instead galvanized support for the rebellion as never before. This is what we fought against, Chief told Cortana privately as they watched rebellion forces preparing for what might be their final stand. The Covenant glassed our worlds, but this is genocide on an unprecedented scale, Cortana finished. Even the Covenant believed they were following religious mandate. This is purely political, designed to instill fear. Their contemplation was interrupted by news that electrified the rebel base. Princess Leia had been rescued from the Death Star itself, and the station's technical readouts had been secured. More incredibly, the rescuers included Kenobi's young protege from Tatooine and a smuggler with a remarkably fast ship. When Leia arrived at the Yavin base, she sought out Chief immediately. "Master Chief, I'm glad to see you made it. General Kenobi spoke highly of your abilities." "The General?" Chief inquired. Leia's expression grew solemn. "He sacrificed himself aboard the Death Star, confronting Vader to allow our escape. But his sacrifice will not be in vain. Our analysts have found a weakness in the Death Star's design." In the briefing that followed, Rebellion tacticians outlined a desperate plan to exploit a small thermal exhaust port that led directly to the station's main reactor. A precise hit from a proton torpedo would trigger a chain reaction, destroying the entire station. The challenge was navigating the Death Star's defensive systems long enough to make the shot. "It's a nearly impossible target," General Dodonna admitted. "Even for our best pilots." "Nothing is impossible," Chief stated with the quiet confidence of a soldier who had repeatedly achieved the impossible. "What resources do we have?" The plan that emerged combined Rebellion tactics with Chief's combat experience and Cortana's analytical capabilities. The Spartan would join a team of Mandalorians in a diversionary attack on the Death Star's outer defenses, drawing TIE fighters away from the trench where Rebellion X-Wings would make their attack run. "It's a one-way mission," Bo-Katan observed as they prepared their fighters. "Even with our skills and your armor, the odds of surviving that kind of firepower are minimal." "Spartans make their own odds," Chief replied, checking the modified controls of his fighter. The cockpit had been adjusted to accommodate his armor, with Cortana integrated into the ship's systems to enhance its performance beyond normal parameters. As the Rebellion fleet deployed, tension filled the command center on Yavin 4. Long-range sensors had detected the Death Star approaching the moon, its planet-killing weapon soon to be in range. The entire Rebellion hinged on this desperate attack. "Red Squadron, this is Gold Leader." Bo-Katan's voice came through the comm as their fighters approached the massive battle station. "Begin attack pattern Delta. Draw their fire away from the trench. Spartan, you're with me." Chief acknowledged, guiding his fighter toward the Death Star's surface defenses. His enhanced reflexes, combined with Cortana's real-time adjustments, allowed him to navigate the storm of turbolaser fire with unprecedented precision. "Multiple TIE squadrons launching," Cortana reported. "Vader's among them. I recognize the energy signature." The space around the Death Star erupted into chaotic combat as Rebellion fighters engaged Imperial forces. Chief and the Mandalorians cut through the defensive screen, destroying surface cannons and drawing TIE fighters away from the trench where the main attack was focused. "Gold Leader," came an urgent transmission from the Rebellion command. "Red 5 is starting his attack run. Vader's on his tail. We need immediate support." Bo-Katan's response was instant. "On our way." "Spartan, take point." Chief broke formation, accelerating toward the trench, where a lone X-Wing was being pursued by Vader's distinctive TIE Advanced and 2 wingmen. The Spartan had only seconds to intervene before the young pilot, Luke Skywalker, according to the comm chatter, would be destroyed. "Cortana, calculate intercept, already done. Increasing power to forward shields. This is going to be close, Chief." The Spartan's fighter dove into the trench, coming up behind Vader's formation with perfect positioning. Before the Sith Lord could react, Chief had destroyed both wingmen with precision fire, forcing Vader to break off his pursuit of Skywalker's X-Wing. "You have a clear shot, Red 5, Chief transmitted. "Take it." What happened next would become legend in Rebellion history. Luke Skywalker, guided by something beyond normal senses, disabled his targeting computer and made an impossible shot. The proton torpedoes found their mark, beginning a chain reaction deep within the Death Star's core. "All ships, clear the area," came the command as the station began to destabilize. Chief's fighter had taken heavy damage during his engagement with Vader, systems failing as he attempted to reach escape velocity. Through his viewport, he could see the Sith Lord's TIE Advanced spiraling away from the battle, damaged but intact. "Chief, we're losing power," Cortana warned, Engine failure imminent. Options? Just one, and it's crazy even by your standards. The Spartan understood immediately. Do it. As their fighter began to break apart, Chief ejected, his armor's limited thrusters giving him just enough control to direct his trajectory away from the Death Star. Behind him, the battle station erupted in a cataclysmic explosion, the shockwave propelling his armored form further into space. Shields failing, Cortana reported. Oxygen reserves at 30% and dropping. That explosion did more damage than I anticipated. Chief floated amid the debris field, watching as rebellion ships regrouped and prepared to return to Yavin. None had detected his ejection, and with communications damaged, he had no way to signal his position. Time to oxygen depletion? He asked calmly. At current consumption rates, approximately 20 minutes, Cortana replied. I'm putting non-essential systems into standby to extend that as long as possible. The Spartan had faced death many times before, had accepted it as an inevitable outcome of his duty. Now, drifting in the vastness of space, he felt a strange peace. Chief. Cortana's voice softened. I'm detecting an energy fluctuation nearby, similar to the anomaly that brought us here. Through his helmet's display, Chief could see it now. A rippling distortion in space where debris from the Death Star was disappearing as though pulled through an invisible doorway. Analysis? Unstable wormhole, possibly triggered by the Death Star's unique energy signature combined with the explosion. It's growing stronger. Chief, this could be our way home. The Spartan considered their options. The rebellion had won a significant victory, but the war against the Empire was far from over. Vader had survived, and Emperor Palpatine remained in power. Yet there was also Luke Skywalker, who Kenobi had believed would change everything, and the growing strength of the rebellion itself. Your call, Cortana, he said finally. Stay or go. The AI was silent for a moment before responding. The UNSC still needs you, John. Our war isn't over either. With the last of his armor's thruster capacity, Chief propelled himself toward the anomaly, its swirling energies enveloping him as he passed the threshold. The sensation was familiar yet different, like falling through endless layers of reality, and then darkness. When consciousness returned, Master Chief found himself floating amid familiar stars, the recognizable silhouette of a UNSC frigate visible in the distance. Home, or at least the war he knew. Cortana, status? Better than expected, she replied, relief evident in her voice. The frigate is the UNSC forward unto dawn. They're already moving to retrieve us. Welcome back, Chief. As recovery teams secured the Spartan and brought him aboard, Captain Miranda Keyes greeted him personally. Master Chief, you've been missing for weeks. We thought we'd lost you. Just took a detour, ma'am, he replied. Later, in the privacy of the ship's armory, Cortana's hologram appeared on a nearby terminal as Chief performed maintenance on his battle-worn armor. Do you think they'll be all right? She asked. Luke, Leia, the rebellion? The Spartan examined the lightsaber score across his chest plate, a permanent reminder of a battle in a galaxy far, far away. They found their hero, he said simply. Someone who could do what I couldn't. Use the Force, Cortana mused. Still, I can't help but wonder what might have happened if we'd stayed. Chief secured his armor and prepared to return to the fight against the Covenant, the weight of responsibility once again settling on his shoulders. We have our own war to win. Across the vast expanse of space and time, in that other galaxy, Luke Skywalker stood at a viewport aboard a rebellion ship, watching the stars. Beside him, Princess Leia placed a hand on his shoulder. What is it? She asked, sensing his distant thoughts. I don't know, Luke admitted. For a moment during the battle, I felt something. Someone, like a presence in the Force unlike anything Master Kenobi described. And now it's gone. Leia smiled. Perhaps a guardian angel. Perhaps, Luke agreed, turning away from the viewport. Their celebration awaited, but beyond that, the war continued. The Empire would strike back, harder than before, their hatred fueled by the destruction of the Death Star. But the rebellion had hope now, a new hero rising to meet the darkness. And somewhere across the stars, a Spartan continued his own battle against extinction, two warriors in different galaxies, connected by the common thread of sacrifice and duty.